Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to talk getting started with the Middle-earth strategy battle game, and today we're going to look at the Erebor Reclaimed Army. Now in this video we're going to talk about the army bonus for Erebor Reclaimed before looking at a couple of units we recommend to get started with for the faction. After this, we'll then look at some other units we can further expand on after those first couple of initial purchases, and finally finish off the video with a little sample army list of 300 points for you to use as some inspiration for starting your own Erebor Reclaimed army in the Middle-earth strategy battle game. And so, with that all said, the army bonus is "Will you follow me one last time?" All models in the army gain the Du Bakar special rule. A model with this special rule counts as being in range of a banner if they're within 6 inches of Thor and Oakenshield, King Under the Mountain. So straight away this sort of tells you who we are going to need in the army. This is sort of going to be the main sort of part of it. He's going to be the big focus. You know, you want Thor and Oakenshield, you get a free banner in here with him. I think this makes him an excellent place to start. He has a couple of cool options. He can take different weapons. He can be mounted as well, so we can go along with your goat riding knights. So a lot you can do with him. And so, let's start by talking about Thor and Oakenshield, and you can buy a box with Thor and Oakenshield, and indeed the rest of the party of dwarves in there as well, which are all really cool. They've got a bunch of different things, so this is a great little box set that's going to give you heaps of different characters available for your Erebor Reclaimed army. But Thor and Oakenshield to start off with, we've got Fight 6 with 4+ Shoot, Strength 4, Defense 8, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 3 might, will, and 1 fate, along with Courage 6. Now, he's got a couple of different weapons of his own. He's got Orc's Crest, which is an elven-made sword. When it causes a wound on an Orc, Goblin, or Uruk-hai, it causes not 1 but D3 wounds instead. Additionally, the bearer of the sword has the ability to cause terror in Goblins, Orcs, and Uruk-hai. All pretty solid there. You can choose to also mount Thorin on top of the Wargoat as well, which is really nice. And then he's got a couple of his own rules as well. Mostly the big one here is going to be a score to settle. This is really targeted at him, where Thor and Oakenshield, King Under the Mountain, rerolls all failed to wound rolls when making strikes against Azog. And then he's got the Bane weapons cause D3 wounds rather than 1, thanks to his, cool damage with Orc's Crest. But other than that, he really is, there to try and take out Azog, but he's also just a fantastic leader and providing that nice banner support for your force. Now, alongside this model, we have the Iron Hills Dwarves. They have 3 different weapon options in mattocks, spears, or crossbows. Crossbows and spears costing an extra point on top of the other 2 options. Iron Hills Dwarves are pretty solid, 5 value 4, and you've got that defense of 6 or 7 there, which is really nice. But you can also have, 1 attack, 1 wound. They're really solid. The crossbows are also pretty nice as well. These will get you a 24-inch range strength 4 shot out of each one, which is pretty darn cool. And the Wargoat Riders, we'll talk about them in a sec. Now, before we talk about the Goat Riders, I do want to talk about Iron Hills Captain. There's no specific model, but you can certainly just grab one of the various different Iron Hill Dwarf models and make yourself a cool looking captain out of them. For me, I think a captain is really important to your force. The big thing they're going to bring is they're going to bring that heroic march to your force. This is especially important considering, dwarves are generally quite slow. But if we're looking maybe for something fast, we have the Wargoat Riders available to us. This is a dwarf army with some actual cavalry, which is pretty cool. Wargoat Riders are really cool. They're the base sort of 5 value 4, defense 6, your standard sort of goat rider, which is cool. But then also you're going to get the ability of a nice 8-inch move there as well. And a pretty cool mount, which is nice. That extra speed is going to be solid for those Wargoat Riders. Now they can also carry a banner, which is really nice as well, so you could even go like an all cavalry force and have your banner mounted atop them. You won't get any range if you go with the Goat Riders, but there are other ways you can bring range into the force other than just your crossbowmen. The first one is the Iron Hills Ballista, which is a giant siege engine. This thing packs out an absolute punch. Great at taking down big enemy things like trolls, even wounding the big dragon himself, Smaug. It's got the reliable rule, which is really cool, where it barely scatters, which is nice, but this thing can just pack an absolute punch. And lastly, we have the Iron Hills Chariot. This is just an absolute beast. You've got the ability to provide some nice range on the weapon. It does a bunch of damage when it charges into enemies, and it's, you know, still got doors on top, so it's still really solid defense-wise. These things can absolutely chew through anything in the game, mow down infantry by the dozen. Just a fantastic looking miniature, as well as just something amazing to have in the fight. And so here we have our sample army list. Now we have decided to put Thor and Oakenshield on a war goat. This would require some basic converting for Thor and Oakenshield. You could definitely just find him to put on one of the dwarves, but you could easily just go him on foot. If he's on foot, that's going to generate you an extra 10 points, which you can easily find in there to just give you like a magic wielding dwarf. Put 2 magic wielding dwarfs instead of giving 2 spears. You'd have 2 magic wielders of the Iron Hill dwarves. So really easy to sort of work. We've of course got Orcrist on Thor and Oakenshield as well, and of course he's leading our force. Now with him mounted on the goats, this means we've got 4 war goat riders in the force. We've then got 3 crossbows and 4 spears. Like I said, if you don't want to do the converting for the war goat here, simply drop down 1 spear to a base magic wielder, and then you bring in another magic wielder. This will give you the same amount of points of a perfect 300. 3 bows in the force is pretty cool. There's definitely some ways you can maybe get another banner in here if you want. You certainly use Dane instead of Thor, though Dane can be a little bit more expensive depending on the version. If you're wanting to go, you know, the all cavalry version of the dwarves, Dane, you would have to go on the lower version, the one where he's the champion of the Iron Hills, which is pretty cool. But if you've been playing with Iron Hill dwarves, if you've been playing with Erebor Reclaimed, I'd love to hear from everyone down in the comments below. And so that is the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and also drop a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you did enjoy the video and want to chat more with our little community here at Cinderful Gaming, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel, which is either via Patreon or YouTube members, where you'll get yourself a shout out like all these people will in just a second, but also you can help support the channel and help dictate where we're going to go with the channel. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel and grab yourself something, you can grab some channel merch as well from Teespring or Ko-fi, both of which as well are linked down in the video's description. Like I said, a special thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowell, Outer Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Bloobs, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Nuss, and Nicholas Colomos. Also to our YouTube members, Greenrich Gaming, Ronya, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, James South, Dave Crozier, Dylan Areno, and James Tillman. Lastly, a special thank you to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see pictured here and indeed all over the channel. And also a special thank you to everyone who helps with the battle reports, everyone who helps with miniature supplying and everything for the channel, including running our Discord server. Thank you all so much once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.